I'm Bahaman Ajani. I'm working for BEF Biosystems, but I have a past experience, extensive experience in impact investing, both as a business angel and part of an impact investing managing company. I've started collaborating with BEF because I was scouting for projects in Italy that would actually be worthy of being called impact investing examples or champions. And for those of you who are not so sure what impact investing is, in my next slide, puoi andare avanti Marco, per favore. There's a worldwide recognized definition of what impact investment is, or typologies of investments which can be considered as impact investing. So this is the Global Impact Investing Network, which defines impact investing as investments made with the intention to generate positive, measurable social, environmental impact alongside with financial return. So these, you can see, are investments in sustainable agriculture, conservation, renewable energy, microfinance, housing, healthcare, and education. So to me, insect breeding and all the potential that has to come out of this new market is crucial, is strategic for any potential investor now and in the future. So I want to go on, please. Se puoi andare avanti sull'altra slide. What is impact investing tackling? We're tackling the most crucial aspects of our future, which you can see. All of you probably know this slide already. Like, this is the 17 goals, the 17 points that that the world has to tackle in the next well, actually in the very short term. Marcos, puoi andare avanti, per favore. So how does insect breeding tackle some of these points, which are for me crucial as an investor? As you can see from this slide, it's actually tackling more, it's addressing more challenges than one actually might imagine. So our idea is actually to show you that insect breeding is tackling a wide variety of issues, of challenges that the world has to face in the future. And these, I will go into the specific with our next slide, but you can sort of see already. So here's the eight issues that I think that we think insect breeding is tackling. So good health and well-being through, how does it tackle that? Through virtuous example of circular economy, affordable and clean energy, obviously by recovering thermal energy from biogas plants and the use of solar energy. And number 9, industry innovation infrastructure. Well, through a plug-and-play technology. So we are innovating through a plug-and-play technology, which I'll explain to you in the next slides. But let's sustainable cities and communities through converting organic residues, responsible consumption and production through transformation of biomass into proteins, obviously, climate action through industry that has a minimal release of CO2, life below water. Well, I think that we just heard a fantastic example of that by replacing fish flour as main ingredient for a fish feed. And life on land, if we consider the full potential of proteins deriving from insect feed, we can also think that one day we will be also tackling a potential source of proteins for human consumption. So this is the way that we see the insect breeding mega trend, because it's a mega trend, going and tackling these crucial points that humanity has to face in the next several years. Marco, puoi andare avanti, grazie. So, considering our context in which we're actually trying to establish this business, which is Italy, because we're operating in Italy. The first, the key criteria, critical criteria to actually establish such a business model are the following. So how do you choose an industrial model, and based on what thoughts must an investor actually maybe invest in an existing model or a potential or a startup, or through considering these crucial points, which are availability of organic waste? Well, that's obvious, because I mean that's the primary source of food for the larva. Cost of energy, financial resources. So financial resources is who is willing to invest, and how do you, like, the amount of investment that the business model needs, and the accessibility to these financial resources. And going back to cost of energy, well, that's for sure a very, very sort of important aspect in such a production, an industrial production, because if you have a higher cost of energy, then you have to sort of think it through and be innovative. You have to innovate. You think it. Find solutions which are innovative. Then, of course, authorization procedures. Italy has a very, very, very difficult law system, and that guides you, for an investor, guides you to a certain choice, because there's such a strict system in Italy that of course there's many solutions that maybe one would like to do, but actually will not be able to do because of the authorization process. Specialized human resources, that's for sure. I mean, people are the ones who actually make the business. Teams are actually the ones who make a business successful and make a business work. So these are the 5 criteria that actually, as an investor, we have to consider and keep in mind as 5 pillars. So please go on, Marco. So nowadays, what we can consider as models which were available for insect breeding are either large bioconversion plants or small widespread network of production plants. So going back to the 5 pillars: availability of organic waste, energy cost, financial resources, authorization procedures, availability of specialized human resources. So let's see what the upsides are with one solution, and what the upsides are on the other solution. So what I think are the upsides for large bioconversion plant are obviously the economies of scale, automation, homogeneous flowers, meaning that the output is quite homogeneous, and the quality control is quite simple, or more or less. Nothing so simple in life, but it's controllable. And then of course technical efficiency. On the other hand, we have the small widespread plants, so the little network of production plants that I'm considering as an investor, and actually trying to see what the metrics of impact that these business models, different competing industrial models, have, and what we can achieve. So what I like about the small widespread plants is that we can have a standardized network agreement, which is quite simple to achieve. It's a plug and play technology, basically, because it's modular, replicable, scalable, ability to produce differentiated grades and types of product, of flour, and security of supply in case of a pandemic risk. Why do I say that? Because nowadays we're all living in times in which it's so uncertain what we're living during the COVID that, you know, in livestock feeding, livestock breeding, things like you cannot not consider pandemic risk and biohazards and anything that can actually aggress the production, and of course production flexibility. So these are the two competing industrial models that I look at as from an investor's point of view. Possiamo andare avanti, Marco, per favore. And the choice is, you know, of course, from to my point of view, on a Bugs Farm network. So this is a little vignette that you can see how we see our productive cycle, and this is to actually underline how important such a solution could be as an example of champion of circular economy. So you know, well, you can see by the vignette that agri-industrial companies must dispose of organic waste. We manage to separate the collection and logistics via conversion processes in bug farms, thanks to technology and so on. The whole idea of circular economy is represented in this little vignette. Puoi andare avanti, Marco, per favore? So again, as an impact investor, I want to analyze the different opportunities that I have in Italy to actually make a difference in an investment or in a productive cycle. And what is immediately analyzable is the different systems of waste disposal. So landfill, compost, biogas, large plants, small plants, and then small plants combined with biogas, which makes it a very, very sustainable choice, which I'll explain to you later why. Can you go down, Marco? Puoi andare avanti? Ora. Grazie. So what are the different waste disposal processes? Bioconversion, anaerobic digestion, composting. And you see, like, anaerobic digestion needs to be a viable business proposition, needs public support. And composting, on the other hand, it's a cost. It's a cost for users. It's a cost for the community. It's a cost for the public. So again, we're looking into bioconversion and this mega trend as a business, and how it can solve many problems that we've seen at the beginning of our presentation. So Marco, so if you please can go on. So this is
Robert, could you please accelerate a bit, because we
yes.
are running short.
So I'll be very quick. We've made studies on and we've assessed how the different solutions can impact our community and our environment. And these are all available. You will have all the presentations available if you're interested. But let me just talk about the parameters, which are parameters coming from the EU Commission. So we considered two criteria: the weight of parameter, which you can see on the bottom left of my slide, and the rating. So our assumptions are quite basic questions on reduction. Does the industrial process aim to reduce the production waste? Does the project aim to extend the useful life of products? And we're giving grades, scores, as you can see, scores which are then aggregated to rating. And then in a very simple mathematical process, you can see what the scores that we achieve, that we assume are from the different waste reduction systems. So rubbish dump, compost, biogas, insect factory, network of bug farms, and network of bug farms applied to biogas plants. Because biogas, we can, through our production cycle, we can recuperate a lot of the energy, the heat energy, the thermal energy dispersed by the biogas power plants. Marco, can you go on, please? Puoi andare avanti. So this is what this is our total, our recap of the different factors of how we calculated the factors. And as you can see, for example, the economic value of output with a rubbish dump is negative and compost is negative because we're putting money into them, and you know, they're not they have to be sustained by the public system. So again, these factors are these factors are a calculation, a sum of scores that we achieve through assumptions, which are assumptions, very logical assumptions too. Se puoi andare avanti, Marco, per favore. As you can see, what we achieve with this graphic reproduction of our scores is that waste, in terms of waste reduction, if you combine a biogas plant with a bug farm, you get the best results, the best scores, and in terms of economic value of output to efficiency, safety in work, territorial development. Of course, that's very important because of the impact that these productions can have on the land and the landscape. And so, but I invite you all to actually dig into our research, which will be available for all of you. Marco, puoi andare avanti per piacere? So this is the scores, and it shows how if you apply a little productive insect breeding plant to a biogas plant, you achieve a very high score in terms of safety, structural efficiencies, sustainability, efficiency, economic value of the output, waste reduction, and socio-economic enhancement and territorial development. So going down to our conclusions, Marcus, puoi andare. Landfilling is the waste management system with the worst sustainability performance in relationship to all impact parameters. Compost has several elements of merit, although the management of costs of separate collection and disposal is very high, very significant, and environmental odor problems is something which is very disturbing to local communities. Biogas and bioconversion have a very good level of impact, reducing territorial load and administrative complexities, as well as combining benefits of recovering from thermal, as I said before, recovering thermal energy from the biogas plants. Again, bioconversion in our business model reduces energy consumption by a very consistent amount. In terms of safety in the workplace, well, of course, if you have a widespread network of bug farms on the agricultural market, it's the reduction, the safety on the for the workers is very high because the modular and the size of the power plants gives you actually a very safe environment to work in. So I hope I was explanatory on our assumptions and how we actually found the metrics for calculating impact by our business model. But please feel free to contact me and actually look into all the other part of the presentation, which will be available online to see actually all the numbers and how we got to the numbers. Thank you, and I'm sorry for the beginning for the technical problems that we had.